Let me tell you about the night my sister said I wasn't qualified. You're not qualified. 5 words. Hit my chest like bullets. 2 years later, sitting here, still hear them echo. Still feel how they cut. Sharp, precise, aimed at spots already soft from years of being told I wasn't enough. But before I tell you what happened after, how the truth got exposed, how she had to face it, let me take you back to that night. Thursday night. The night everything started to break. 11 p.m., when apartment door closed. 14 hours just passed. Network collapsed. CEO panicking. Clock counting down every second. Exhausted to the bone. Silence. The only thing left in my head. Darkness. Necessary as air. Lights stayed off. Bag dropped to floor. Body sank into couch. Room swallowed streetlight. Outside noise. Thoughts. Only silence left. Only darkness. Phone buzzed. Screen glowed in the dark. Victoria. My sister. Her name on screen. Not often. Maybe once a month. 1 second hesitation, but never didn't answer when family called. Swiped screen. Phone to ear. Talia, finally. Voice tight as wire. Rushed. Not normal call. Hey, what's up? About tomorrow. Nathan's ceremony. Remembered immediately. Saturday. Promotion ceremony. Nathan making captain. Got invited last week. Already said yes. Dress already picked up from cleaners. Calendar already marked. I remember. I'm ready. Actually, there's a problem. Stopped. Something in her voice, cold spreading in stomach. What problem? Venues smaller. Limited seating. Had to cut the list. Felt what was coming. Knew from how she phrased it. You're saying I'm not invited anymore. Talia, don't be like that. Answer the question, she sighed. Irritation clear in breath. This is a professional event. Nathan has colleagues coming. Admirals, captains. They're in our world. Military, official. And you? You do it, right? Fix computers. That's fine. But it's different. You won't fit in. Each word like small knives. Felt them stab right where it had been soft for years. You're saying I'm not good enough. It's not like that. You're saying I'm not worthy to sit in the same room as my brother-in-law, someone I've known 8 years. Don't be dramatic. This is about fit. Nathan's a senior officer. You're a government employee. 2 different worlds. Phone gripped tight. Knuckles white. Nails digging into palm. Learned to control emotions my whole life, but this was sister. This was family. This was old wound opened with old blade. Say it clearly. Are you saying I'm not qualified? Long silence. Heard her breathe. Heard her decide whether to tell truth. Knew the answer from how long the pause lasted. Fine. Yes. You don't fit this event. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. This is Nathan's big moment. Need everything perfect. Need people who reflect well on him. And you won't. Sat in darkness. Let her words sink in. After all those years of not enough, after all those times being compared, she finally said out loud what I'd always feared was true. Okay. 1 word. Flat. Cold. Voice perfected over years. You understand, right? You're not mad at me? Anything else you want to say? What? Any other reasons I'm not good enough? Or is that all? Hung up. Lowered phone. Gently. Controlled. Sat with hands trembling slightly. Let her words replay in my head. Not qualified. Don't fit. Won't reflect well. Dress hanging on door. Calendar with Saturday circled red. Drawer holding things no one knew about. Awards, thank you letters, proof of real work. Work that wasn't fixing computers. Phone buzzed again. Mom. Of course. Victoria always called Mom first. Picked up. Didn't say hello. Just waited. Mija, I know Victoria just called. I know you're upset. But you have to understand. This is their big day. So you agree I shouldn't come. Not a question. Already knew. Mom always chose Victoria. It's not that. It's just, you do important work. But not the kind people see. Victoria needs people they see. People who reflect well. Understood completely. Understood Mom thought like Victoria. Understood in this family, value measured by what others saw. And because my work hid behind non-disclosure agreements, invisible. Didn't count. You're choosing her. Thalia, you always choose her. And this time you're saying I'm not good enough for my own family. You're being, I have to go. Hung up. This time hands shook visibly. This time felt something in chest crack. Not break, not yet, but crack. Small fissure in foundation built over many years. Sat in dark apartment. Let silence surround. Thought about family. People who should know best, should see value. Just said clearly I wasn't qualified to stand beside them. Dress I wouldn't wear. Ceremony I wouldn't attend. All those times of not enough. Not successful enough. Not impressive enough. Not visible enough. And thought about someday. Soon. When truth finally came out. When they learned who the daughter, the sister they called not qualified really was. When they faced the question, who's really not qualified here? But before that, before I tell you about the night truth got revealed, when witnesses stood up, when sister had to hear exactly how wrong she was, need to show you what they didn't know. Need to take you into the world I lived in. World hidden behind silence and non-disclosure agreements and simple lie about IT. Need you to understand why, in all those years of being dismissed and overlooked, they were so terribly wrong. Let me show you who I really am. And then you'll understand. When truth finally comes out, it will change everything. Let me show you what they didn't know about me. 10 years before that night, I was 19 and sitting in Marcus Chen's office at MIT. I remember how afternoon sunlight streamed through window, falling across desk covered with papers and books. I smelled cold coffee and cup he'd forgotten since morning. I heard keyboard clicks from next room. Other students doing assignments. I felt hard wooden chair beneath me, palms sweating from tension. Professor Chen set test down on desk in front of me. Score at top, 100. Bonus points for solving problem no one else in class could do. Thalia, he said, voice low, serious. Do you know what you just did? I shook my head. I didn't know. I just solved problem like I always did. Broke it into smaller pieces, found vulnerabilities, built solutions. You just designed security system that Fortune 500 companies pay millions for. In 24 hours. At 19. He paused, looked at me like looking at something rare. You're the most talented student I've taught in 20 years, and I teach at MIT. I felt something in chest expand. Not pride. Didn't know how to feel that yet. Just relief. Relief that finally someone saw me. Someone understood I was good at something that mattered. I called Mom that night. I wanted to share. I wanted her to know her daughter was doing something special. Mom, today Professor Chen said I'm the best student he's ever taught. He said big companies will want to hire me after graduation. I heard Mom pause. I heard cup hitting kitchen counter. I heard Victoria's voice in background. She was home visiting for weekend. That's great, Miha. Victoria, did you hear? Talia's doing well at school. Well? I heard Victoria's voice through phone, distant but clear enough. MIT computer science must be hard. But I just got accepted to USC's MBA program. Full scholarship. They said I have exceptional leadership potential. And just like that, conversation shifted. Mom congratulated Victoria. Asked about USC. Asked about plans after MBA. I sat in small dorm room, phone at ear, listening to them talk about my sister's bright future. I said, I have to study. Assignment deadline. Mom said, okay, Miha. Study hard. Didn't ask more about Professor Chen. Didn't ask about score. Didn't ask about future work. Just study hard. And then back to talking with Victoria. I hung up and sat in silence. I looked at test on desk. 100 score. Professor's handwritten praise in corner. I felt something in chest contract. Not sad. Not yet. Just understanding. Understanding that no matter how well I did, it would never be as important as what Victoria did. 4 years later, I graduated MIT with doctorate. 23 years old. Youngest in class. Professor Chen stood beside me at graduation, proud as father. He said, "You're going to change this field, Talia. I know it." I called family. I told them about doctorate, about job offers from 3 major companies, about proposal from promising startup. "That's wonderful, sweetheart," Mom said, voice tired. but I have to prepare. Victoria got engaged. Nathan proposed last week. He's Navy officer, you know. Commander. Very handsome, very polite. His family has military tradition. And just like that, conversation shifted to wedding. Venue, wedding dress, guest list. I heard Mom excited in ways she'd never been excited about anything I did. I flew home for wedding 3 months later. I arrived early to help Victoria. I thought maybe this was chance for us to be closer. Sisters. Family. I arrived at house, and Victoria was trying on bridesmaid dresses with friends. 5 girls laughing, drinking champagne, taking photos. I stood at door with suitcase watching them. Victoria saw me. "Talia, you're here!" She ran over, hugged me. "You'll be bridesmaid, you know. You're so important to me." I felt warmth spread in chest. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe Victoria cared. Maybe I mattered. Then she turned to friends. "This is my sister, Thalia. She went to MIT, very smart, works with computers." "Computers?" one girl said, voice polite but uninterested. "Interesting." "Yes," Victoria said. "She fixes them or something. I don't really understand. But she's really good with technology. I didn't fix computers. I designed systems protecting data for world's biggest companies." But I said nothing. I just smiled and nodded and let Victoria keep talking about wedding. At wedding, I sat at back table. Not family table, the miscellaneous guests table, as Victoria called it in seating chart. I sat with distant uncle, father's old friend, and few people I didn't know. I watched Victoria and Nathan at head table, laughing, happy, surrounded by lights and flowers and attention. I watched Mom at head table, glowing with pride. I looked at Dad's photo on memorial table. He died before seeing this. Died before seeing me graduate MIT. Died before knowing his daughter was doing what he always dreamed, protecting systems, keeping people safe. I felt lonelier than ever in my life. 2 years after wedding, I stopped my first major cyber attack. Major bank in New York. Hackers from Eastern Europe. They'd gotten into system, ready to steal $2 billion. I worked 72 hours straight. No sleep, no rest. Just me and computer and countdown clock. I found vulnerability they used. I closed it. I traced them. I stopped theft. Bank CEO called me into office. He shook my hand with both hands. "You just saved our company. You know that? $2 billion. Thousands of jobs. You're a hero." I didn't feel like a hero. I felt tired. But I felt something else. Purpose. I'd done something important. I'd protected people. I called family to tell them. Not to brag, just to share. To let them know I was doing meaningful work. Mom answered. I heard baby crying in background. Victoria's firstborn, 6 months old. "Mom, I just finished major project. I can't say details, but it's really important." I saved. "That's great, Mija, but I'm busy. Emma's crying and Victoria needs help with." "Mom, I just wanted to say, can you call back later?" Victoria just got elected president of Officers' Wives Club. Very prestigious. We're celebrating. Call ended. I sat in office with awards CEO had just given. Crystal plaque engraved with my name and words, "Our Lifesaver." I looked at it and felt empty. I'd saved $2 billion. I'd protected thousands of jobs. But my family cared more about Victoria getting elected to Officers' Wives Club. This pattern repeated for years. I achieved. They overlooked. Victoria achieved. They celebrated. Year I turned 27, I received Industry Excellence Award. I sent photo to Mom. She replied, "So proud of you, Mija." Then immediately after, "Victoria's pregnant with second baby. So happy." Year I turned 28, I was invited to speak at industry's biggest conference. 2,000 attendees. I told Mom. She said, "That sounds nice." "Oh, Nathan got promoted to commander. We're throwing party." Year I turned 29, I stopped attack on power grid affecting 3 million people. No one knew. No one could know. Non-disclosure agreement. Classified. Silence. And then came that Thursday night call. "You're not qualified." 10 years. 10 years of achieving, being overlooked, being praised by strangers but invisible to family. 10 years trying to prove I mattered. I had value. I deserved to be seen. And finally, the answer was clear. No, I wasn't qualified. Never was. Never would be. But they were wrong. And soon, they'd learn exactly how wrong. Let me tell you about that Saturday. The day Victoria celebrated Nathan's promotion while I was saving the city. 6 a.m. when phone rang. I looked at screen. Sarah Mitchell, CEO of Mitchell Tech. She never called Saturday morning unless crisis. I answered. Reyes. Thalia, we're under attack. Ransomware. They locked entire system, demanding 20 million in 6 hours or they delete everything. Her voice shaking, panicking. 3,000 employees, 800,000 customer records. If this gets out, company's dead. I looked at clock. 6 a.m. Nathan's ceremony at 2 p.m. I wasn't invited, but timing felt like universe was joking. I'll be there in 30 minutes. I put on jeans and hoodie. I grabbed laptop and equipment. I drove through empty city. No traffic, no people, just streetlights blinking yellow in morning fog. Mitchell Tech office dark when I arrived. Only Sarah and CTO Tom waiting in lobby. Their faces gray. Exhausted. Scared. We don't know what to do, Tom said. They got in through vulnerability we didn't know existed. Military-grade encryption. We can't break it. I went straight to server room. Cold there. Cooling systems running constantly to keep servers from overheating. I smelled cold air, metal, hot plastic from running equipment. I heard fans spinning steadily, servers beeping softly, Tom breathing heavily behind me. I plugged in laptop. I opened code. Screen glowing green in dark room. I started analyzing. Ransomware sophisticated. Very sophisticated. Not amateur work. This was professional. Probably Eastern Europe or Russia. They encrypted each file separately with different keys. Couldn't brute force. Needed different approach. I worked 2 hours straight. Eyes burning. Back aching from hunching. Hands freezing from server room air. But I didn't stop. Couldn't stop. Clock counting down. 8 a.m. I found something. A pattern in how they encrypted. Small mistake. Maybe they rushed. Maybe overconfident. But it was there. A way in. I called Tom. I've got angle. Need 3 more hours. They're demanding money at noon, Tom said. If we don't pay. I know. Don't pay. Let me work. I went back to code. I wrote tool to exploit their mistake. I tested it on sample files. It worked. Slow, but worked. 10 a.m. I started decrypting. File by file. System by system. I watched progress bar run. 5%, 10, 15. Too slow. Needed optimization. I rewrote code. I ran parallel across multiple servers. Speed quadrupled. 20%, 30, 50. 11:30, Sarah came into server room. Thalia, they called. Said if we don't confirm payment in 30 minutes, they delete everything. I didn't look up. Eyes still glued to screen. Tell them technical issue with wire transfer. Need 2 more hours. They won't. Do it. I'm almost done. Sarah left. I heard her voice in hallway, tense, trying to sound calm, buying time. Noon, I was at 70%. Not fast enough. Hackers started deleting files. I saw it on monitor. They started with backup servers, probably to scare us. I worked faster, hands flying across keyboard. I wrote script to prioritize most important files. Customer data, source code, financials. Left less critical files for later. 1 p.m., I was at 90%. They deleted 10% of backups, but I'd saved the critical parts. 1:30, I finished. 100%. All files decrypted, all systems online. I ran verification. No errors, no corruption. I called Sarah. Done. Systems clean. Data's safe. I heard her crying through phone, voice breaking. You just saved our company. 3,000 jobs, 800,000 customers. How do we thank you? Just doing my job, I said. Voice flat, professional, like I always said. I closed laptop. I stood up, legs numb from sitting long. back stiff, eyes burning from staring at screen 8 hours straight. I walked out of server room. Sarah was waiting. Tom, too. 10 other employees. IT team, security team, CFO. All looking at me like looking at something miraculous. "You did in 8 hours what we thought impossible," Tom said. "You're a genius." I didn't feel like a genius. I felt tired. But I felt something else. Thing I always felt after completing big work. Purpose. I'd protected something important. I'd kept people safe. I drove home. 2 p.m., right when Nathan's ceremony started. I imagined scene. Victoria in beautiful dress. Nathan in dress whites. Champagne, lights, everyone congratulating and taking photos and talking about bright future. And me, who just saved 3,000 jobs and 800,000 customer records, not invited because I didn't fit. I got to apartment. I dropped bag. I sat on the couch. I looked at phone. No messages, no calls from family. They were busy celebrating. They didn't remember me. They weren't thinking about me. They didn't know that while they drank champagne and laughed, I was doing something truly important. They didn't know and would never know because I couldn't tell them. Non-disclosure agreement. Confidentiality. Professional silence. I sat there in empty apartment and felt unfairness of it all. Not angry, not yet. Just tired. Tired of trying. Tired of proving. Tired of being invisible. But then, phone buzzed. Email from Sarah Mitchell. "Thalia, board held emergency meeting. They want to give you Industry Excellence Award. Ceremony next month. They want to tell people about what you did, within NDA limits. You deserve this recognition. Thank you again." I read email, then read again. Award. Recognition. People would know, not details, but that I'd done something important. And this time, family would have to pay attention. This time, they couldn't ignore. This time, truth would come to light. Let me tell you about the night Nathan called entire family together. The night truth finally got spoken. 2 weeks after that Saturday, I received text from Nathan. "Dinner at my house, Saturday night. Important. Please come." Not from Victoria. From Nathan. That made me curious. I arrived exactly 7 p.m. Their house in nice suburb, manicured lawn, cars parked straight, everything perfect like Victoria always wanted. I rang doorbell. Nathan opened door. "Thalia. Thank you for coming." Voice serious. Face not smiling. I stepped inside. I saw Victoria in kitchen. Face tense. I saw Mom sitting on couch, hands twisting tissue. I saw 2 other men. One middle-aged in suit. One older with clear military bearing. Nathan introduced. "This is Marcus Chen, your former MIT professor, and this is Admiral Patricia Morrison, my commanding officer." I looked at Marcus. He nodded slightly. I understood. Nathan had called them. Nathan had set this up. "Everyone sit down," Nathan said. We sat. I chose chair at end of table, observing. Victoria looked at me with confusion and bit of fear. Mom looked at floor. Nathan stood, didn't sit. "Thank you all for coming," Nathan began, voice steady, commander's voice. "I called you because something needs to be said. About Thalia, about her work." Room went silent. I heard clock ticking on wall. I heard Victoria breathing faster. 2 weeks ago, Nathan continued, my wife told her sister that she wasn't qualified to attend my promotion ceremony. Victoria said Thalia was just IT person, that she wouldn't fit in with my military colleagues. Victoria opened mouth. "Nathan, that's not—" "Let me finish." Nathan's voice harder. Command voice. Victoria went silent. Nathan turned to Marcus. "Professor Chen, could you tell the family about Thalia?" Marcus stood up. He looked at Victoria, then Mom. "I taught Thalia at MIT 10 years ago. She was most talented student I taught in 30 years of my career. At 19, she solved problems that Fortune 500 companies pay millions for solutions." He paused. "Let that sink in." After graduation, Thalia became senior consultant in cybersecurity. Over past 10 years, she's stopped attacks on major banks, protected data of millions of people, saved companies from bankruptcy. Estimated, Her work has prevented over $8 billion in damages. I looked at Victoria. Her face went pale. Mouth fell open. 8 billion? Mom whispered. Yes, Marcus said. And 2 weeks ago, that Saturday, the day of promotion ceremony, Talia worked 8 hours straight to save Mitchell Tech from ransomware attack. 3,000 jobs, 800,000 customer records. She saved it all. Heavy silence filled room. I looked at Mom. She put hand over mouth, eyes welling. I looked at Victoria. She stared at me like seeing me for the first time. Nathan nodded to Admiral Morrison. She stood up, back straight, authoritative, 3-star rank clear in how she carried herself. I'm Admiral Patricia Morrison, she said. I command Captain Lawson. I also know about Thalia's work because Navy has contracts with her firm to protect critical infrastructure. She looked directly at Victoria. People like Thalia, those who protect critical systems in silence, are backbone of national security. They prevent disasters public never knows about. They do this not for fame, not for recognition, because it's right. She paused. For her to be considered not qualified to attend military ceremony is insult. Not just to her, but to everyone who serves in silence. Victoria started crying. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. If I'd known... You didn't ask, I said. First time I spoke since arriving. Voice calm, cold. 10 years, you never asked what I do. You assumed. You judged. You decided I didn't matter because my work isn't shiny, isn't visible like yours. Victoria shook head. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I turned to Mom. And you. Every time I called with achievement, you changed subject to Victoria. Every award, every milestone. You said, that's great, then talked about Victoria being pregnant, or Victoria getting promoted to club, or Nathan's promotion. Mom cried. I'm sorry, Mija. I didn't realize. I didn't know it was that important. It was always important, I said, but you never saw. Nathan stepped closer to me. He stood at attention, raised hand. Salute, formal, full of respect, in front of family. Thalia, I'm sorry for not speaking up sooner. I'm proud to know you. Thank you for the work you do. I stood up. I returned salute. Brief, precise. Sat back down. Room silent except for Victoria and Mom crying. Marcus spoke. Next week, Thalia will receive Industry Excellence Award at ceremony with 2,000 attendees, CEOs, top experts, press. Everyone will know, within NDA limits, about work she's done. He looked at Victoria. Your sister isn't IT person. She's one of top 10 people in world in her field, and you treated her like she had no value. Victoria stood up, walked toward me. Thalia, I'm sorry. I was jealous. I don't have my own career, my own identity. I'm just Nathan's wife. And seeing you have purpose, have talent, it made me feel small. So I tried to make you small. I looked at her. Not angry anymore. Just tired. I forgive you. Eventually. But not now. You need to earn it. Victoria nodded. I understand. I stood up. I have to go. Work early tomorrow. Nathan walked me to the door. Thank you for coming. And sorry it took so long. You didn't know. Now you do. I drove home with feeling of relief for first time in years. Not because they apologized, because I didn't need their acceptance anymore. Truth had been spoken. Justice had been served. And that was enough. Let me tell you what happened after. The months following the night Nathan called family meeting. 3 weeks after that dinner, I received letter from Mom. Not text, not call. Handwritten letter. I opened envelope in office. Cream paper. Her shaky handwriting. She wasn't used to writing long English, but she tried. Mija, I don't know where to start. I'm sorry isn't enough. I look back and see all the times I didn't listen, didn't ask, didn't see you. I thought Victoria needed me more because she shared more. But I was wrong. You needed me. You just didn't say. I kept reading. Her hand wrote about each memory. Time I called about doctorate, she changed subject. Time I told about award, she talked about Victoria. Time I needed someone to listen, she was busy. I can't fix the past, but I want to try with future. If you give me chance. I folded letter. I put it in drawer. I wasn't ready to respond, but I kept it. That meant something. 2 weeks later, Victoria texted, "Can you call me? I want to talk. Not urgent, when you're ready." I left it 3 days, then called. "Hi, Talia." Her voice different, smaller, less confident. "Thank you for calling, Victoria. I I started therapy. After that night, Nathan suggested. I thought he was crazy, but I went. And therapists said I have issues with self-worth. I define myself through husband, through kids, through what others see. I don't have my own identity. I listened, said nothing. And I realized, I did to you what I'm afraid others do to me. I made you invisible because I feel invisible. I'm sorry isn't enough, but I'm trying. I'm trying to become a better person." "That's good," I said. "I'm glad you're going to therapy. Can you forgive me?" "Not yet, but maybe. Give me time." "Okay, I understand." We ended call. Not perfect, not warm reunion, but it was first step. Next month ceremony came. Industry Excellence Award at major hotel downtown. 2,000 attendees. I stood backstage in simple black dress. Not fancy, not showy, just professional. Marcus Chen introduced me. Talia Reyes represents the best of our industry. Excellence in silence. Protection without recognition. Over 10 years, she's prevented billions in damages, protected millions of people, and done it all with rare humility. I walked on stage, spotlight bright. I looked at audience, sea of people standing, applauding. I saw Mom and Victoria in fifth row, Nathan beside them. They were clapping, Mom crying, Victoria smiling. Real, not forced. They came. They chose to come. I received trophy. I stood at microphone. "Thank you, everyone. This work isn't about glory. It's about protecting what matters. I just do my job, but I appreciate this recognition." Brief. Professional. I stepped down, hugged Marcus. "Thank you for everything. You deserve it all, Talia." After ceremony, Mom ran over. She hugged me, tight, long, trembling. "My daughter, I'm so proud." "So sorry I didn't say it sooner." Victoria stood behind. You're amazing. I saw how people looked at you. They respect you. I want you to know I'm proud to be your sister." I looked at her. "Thank you. That means something. Can we coffee sometime? I want to hear about your work. Really hear. No judging, no interrupting. Just listening." "Maybe. I'll think about it. Not yes, but not no." A door open. Small, careful, but open. Next week, article about me came out in major industry magazine. The Silent Guardian. Thalia Reyes and the Art of Invisible Protection. Photo of me on stage. Quotes from CEOs I'd saved. Quotes from Marcus. Quotes from Admiral Morrison. I received 200 plus emails. From colleagues. From students wanting mentorship. From companies wanting to hire. From strangers saying, "Thank you for work I did." One email from Mitchell Tech CEO. "Thalia, board wants to offer you Chief Security Officer position. Package attached. Please consider." I opened attachment. Salary double current. Equity. Own team. Freedom to design security as I saw fit. I looked at offer. I thought about it. Then accepted. 3 months later, I sat in new office. Corner of building, large windows, city view. Smell of fresh coffee. Morning light flooding in. Quiet, but good kind of quiet. Not lonely, just peaceful. My phone rang. Victoria. I let it ring 3 times before answering. "Hi, Victoria." "Hi, Talia. Am I bothering you?" "No, on break. I just wanted to say, Emma asked about you. About the smart aunt who saves computers. Can I tell her?" I smiled. "Tell her. But not saves computers. Saves systems." "Okay, I'll explain it right." Pause. "And Talia? Thank you for giving me chance. We're trying. Not perfect, but we're trying." That's enough. I hung up. I looked out the window. City below, cars, people walking, life continuing. I thought about journey. From girl who got overlooked to person who got seen. From invisible to recognized. From not qualified to CSO of million-dollar company. Not because they accepted me, because I never needed them to accept me. I just needed them to see. And now they saw. And that, after all those years, all that pain, all that silence, that was enough. Life was good now. Not perfect, family still awkward, relationships still fragile. But they were trying. I was trying, and that was more than I ever had. I turned back to screen. There were systems to protect, people to keep safe, work to do. And I, Thalia Reyes, knew exactly how to do it. Today is Thanksgiving. 2 years after the night Victoria said I wasn't qualified. I sit here in new home, larger apartment with windows overlooking river, afternoon light streaming in, space enough to breathe. I smell turkey roasting in oven. I'm cooking for first time, following Mom's recipe she texted last week. I hear soft jazz from speakers, water boiling on stove, doorbell about to ring, announcing guests arriving. Victoria and family will arrive at 5. Mom's on her way. Nathan bringing wine. Emma, 7-year-old niece, drew card "Thank you Aunt Talia for saving people" with crayons. 2 years ago, I wasn't invited to Nathan's ceremony. Today, I'm hosting Thanksgiving. The difference isn't the invitation. The difference is, I don't need it anymore to feel valuable. I step onto balcony with coffee cup. Cool breeze blowing through hair. I look at city below. Lights starting to turn on as sky darkens. Cars moving like blood through arteries. Life continuing. Somewhere out there, systems I protect are running. Data I keep safe is flowing. People who'll never know my name are living normal lives because of work I do in silence. And I'm okay with that. I don't need them to know. I just need to do it right. My phone buzzes. Text from Victoria. Can we come early? Emma wants to help you cook. I want to teach her to appreciate people who do truly important work. I smile. Type back. Come on. I'll teach her to make mashed potatoes. 2 years ago, Victoria didn't want me near her daughter. Today, she wants her daughter to learn from me. Doorbell rings. I open. Victoria stands there with Emma, bags and nervous smile. Hi, thank you for letting us come early. Come in. I kneel down to Emma's level. Ready to be chef? Emma nods hard. I want to learn from you. Mom says you're smartest person she knows. I look at Victoria. She smiles. Not forced, not fake. Real. Your mom's right, I tell Emma. But important thing isn't being smart. Important thing is using smart to help others. Victoria and Emma come into kitchen. I teach Emma to cut potatoes, mix butter, season. Victoria stands beside, watching, smiling. Not center of attention. Doesn't need to be. You know, Victoria says softly while Emma focuses on potatoes, I'm applying to MBA again. This time not for prestige, because I want to do nonprofit work. Help women start careers after having kids. I realized I have experience. I can help. That's great, I say, and I mean it. Mom arrives at 5 with pie, cherry, my favorite since childhood that she hasn't made in years. She hugs me long. Mija, I'm proud of you. Every day. Nathan arrives with wine and stories about work. Not center stage, just family member. He asks me about job, really listens, asks smart questions. We sit for dinner. Table full. Turkey, potatoes, vegetables, pie. Candlelight flickering. Laughter natural. Not forced, not awkward. Just family trying. Nathan stands up. I want to make toast to Talia, who's hosting first dinner and doing amazing job. And thank you for everything you do, what we see and what we don't see. Everyone raises glasses. To Talia! I look around table. This family, imperfect, healing, trying. 2 years ago, they didn't see me. Today they do. Not because I changed, because they opened their eyes. After dinner, I stand on balcony alone. City lights below. Wind cold but not uncomfortable. Just reminding me I'm alive. I'm here. I'm strong enough to stand in wind. Victoria steps out. Do you need to be alone? No. Stand here with me. We stand in silence for a moment, looking at city. Then Victoria says, do you regret it? Those years? I think about it. Really think. No, I say finally. Those years taught me who I am. Taught me I don't need validation from others. Taught me strength comes from knowing my own value. I regret it, Victoria says softly. I wasted so many years trying to impress people who don't matter. And hurt person who does. But you're trying now. That's what counts. Do you think we'll be okay? Eventually? I turn to look at her. I think we are okay. Not perfect, but real. And that's better than perfect fake. Victoria nods. I love you. I want you to know. I know. And I'm learning to trust it. We stand there, two sisters, two different paths, finally finding way back to same place. After everyone leaves, I clean up. Wash dishes. Put away leftovers. Turn off lights. Sit on couch with hot tea. House quiet again. But not lonely. Just peaceful. I think about journey. From girl who was told she wasn't qualified to person who knows exactly what she deserves. From invisible to seen. Not because they looked, but because I stood tall enough they couldn't ignore. Some people inherit money. Some people inherit names. I inherited something else. Purpose. Ability to protect. Strength to stand in silence and know it's enough. My phone buzzes. Email from new CEO wanting to hire me for consulting. Project value, 7 figures. I open calendar, check schedule, decide whether to accept. 2 years ago, I would have accepted immediately to prove worth. Today, I consider whether it fits life I want. Because my value doesn't come from jobs I accept, comes from knowing when to say no. I type reply. Thank you for offer. Let me check calendar and reply next week. Professional, measured, confident. I put phone down, look out window. City sleeping. Lights still on. Night shift workers, hospitals, data centers, systems I protect. Life continues. And I'm part of it. Small, quiet, but essential. I don't need them to see anymore to know I matter. I just need to do the work. Live the life. Love people who deserve it. And know, deep in bones, in blood, in every breath, that I'm enough. Always enough. And I know that is enough. If you're watching this, maybe you felt invisible too. Maybe you've tried proving your worth to people who should see you most. Maybe you've wondered if you're good enough. Let me tell you what took me years to learn. You don't need them to see you to have value. Your worth doesn't come from their validation. It comes from work you do, from people you help, from truth you live. Family isn't blood. Family is who shows up when it matters, who sees you, really sees you, and chooses to stay. And if they don't see, that's not your fault. You don't need to change. They need to open their eyes. Sometimes revenge isn't fire. It's simply living better, freer, bigger than anyone thought you could. Have you ever felt abandoned by people who should love you most? Share your story in comments. I read every one, and I see you. If this story touched you, hit like so I know. Subscribe so I can tell more stories like this. Share, so someone who needs to hear this, someone feeling not enough, knows they always were enough. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And remember, you're enough. Always enough. See you in next video.